Hi, this is Sweet June coming back at you with another video. This video was part two from the video Single Mothers. Be careful who you have around your children. If you haven't got a chance to watch that video, shoot over there and watch it. I'm going to put the link to that video in the description box. But this is a part two. Time ran out on my phone and I didn't have time to finish my thoughts, but I have more thoughts on that. Now, what I was saying in the other video is that single mothers need to be really, really, really careful of who they have bring around their children and how detrimental it is when you bring the wrong people around them. And I was talking about how sometimes as a single mother, you may have to be by yourself for a time to look out for what's in the best interest of your children. And I was emphasizing that you must put your children first. As single mothers, we have to put, well, my children are grown, but as a single mother, you have to put your children first. I made the decision to put my children first when I was raising my kids because one day they are going to be adults. They're not going to be children forever. They're going to grow up to be adults. You want them to be as well adjusted and stable as possible because they have to go out into the world. A lot of children grow up in dysfunctional homes, and a lot of times we see a manifestation of that in society of children that grow up in unstable homes. So it's huge. It's huge, ladies. It's huge. It is so vital that you provide a good, stable environment for your children as much as you can. Are you going to make mistakes? Of course, you're human. But part of that is not making sure that you're not bringing toxic people around them, making sure they're not seeing you with multiple partners. It is not good for girls and it's not good for boys to see that. And like I said, it may require you being single for a time, for even a few years. And I know that's, like I said before, I know that's hard to hear. I know that's a hard pill to swallow because you want that companionship. You want that. You don't want to be raising your kids alone. But sometimes that is what's required until you can meet the right person. You have to take your time. You have to take your time to get the right mate. It was a guy on here. His name was Tony Gaskins, I believe. His name is Tony Gaskins, and he did a video. I can't remember everything he was saying in the video, but he did a video talking about men getting involved with single mothers. And he was basically saying that a lot of men, he didn't say all, he said a lot of men are not for the right things when getting involved in single mothers. That video was deep. This was coming from a man's perspective. He was saying that a lot of men don't have the right intentions when they hook up with single mothers, and some of these men, they get it. I spoke about that in another video. They wanted that, and I also read some blogs and looked at some videos on here and read comic sections about guys saying single mothers are only good for sex and all that. Yes, a lot of them said that. A lot of guys say that. And so sometimes they get with you just to have relations with you. They don't want to marry you. They don't want to be a stepfather to your children. They don't have your best interest at heart. They don't have your children's best interest at heart. They just want to get what they want to get and move on. You don't want that. You don't want to bring that kind of man into the environment with you and your children. You don't even want anything to do because I did a video a while back here giving a message to men. If you don't want to date single, they're always hollering that they don't want to date single mothers. Okay, well, if you don't want to date single mothers, leave them alone. Don't have anything to do with them. If you don't want to be with a single mother, just leave them alone. Don't become intimate with them. Just don't do nothing with them. Um, and if you develop feelings for, because sometimes sex is more emotional for women, and if you develop feelings for this man and he doesn't have your interest, best interest at heart, or your children, it's going to be detrimental. It's going to be detrimental to you emotionally and mentally. It's going to be detrimental to your children. And then if you get involved in several of these relationships, it's even more detrimental. You see where I'm going with this? You just can't do it, ladies. You just can't do it. It's not healthy. And a lot of these men out here don't have, I've been reading the blogs, looking at the videos. A lot of them don't want to date single mothers, don't want to get involved with single mothers, but they want to get intimate with them. You are to steer clear from those types of men. Steer clear from them. They're no good for you. Just steer clear from them. My suggestion, I strongly advise single mothers to abstain until marriage. When I made the decision to abstain, it was the best decision I had ever made in my life. It was the most wisest decision I ever made in my life. And I was able to learn my worth as a woman and draw a closer relationship with God. And you can't have a close relationship with God if you're out committing immorality. If you're committing immorality, you can't have a close relationship with God. You can't. You can't. Because when we commit fornication, we're sinning. The Bible says we're sinning against our own body. We are literally sinning against our own body when we commit immorality. And that's not good. It's up there. It's one of the major sins. It's pretty up there high on the list. So I strongly recommend abstaining. And they also talk about soul ties. I might do another video talking about that when I get more information about it. They talk about a lot about soul ties, and stuff like that. Getting these soul ties with these wrong men, getting involved with these wrong men, and getting soul ties with them. Not good, ladies. It's not healthy for you mentally or emotionally or spiritually. It's just unhealthy all the way around. It's unhealthy for your children. As I said in the other video, if you don't have it together, your children is not going to have it together. Okay? There was times where I was going through things, depression, and just broken down in my spirit, and it affected my children because I didn't have it together. I had to get it together so my children can have it together. You cannot effectively be there for your children if you don't mentally have it together or emotionally have it together. And I know it's hard being alone. I know it. I've been there, ladies. That's why I can talk about this. I've been there, done that. I know it's hard. But if you pray, take it to Jehovah God. We can take everything to God. The power of prayer is powerful. We can take everything to God. And if you I took everything to Him. My loneliness, depression, my loneliness, depression, and even now it's a lifelong thing. When I'm dealing with things now, I take it to Him. Worrying, or all that anxiety. Bible says, put all your burdens onto me. And put all your burdens onto Him and give it to Him, and He will help you. But you have to open up your heart to receive Him. But I'm telling you, ladies, this is vital. This is vital for the mental and emotional well-being for your children. Be careful on, someone in my conversation the other video made the point of online dating. That was an excellent point. Be careful with online dating. I tried it. I got discouraged. I was pretty discerning, when I was doing it, because I could talk, when I was talking to some of the guys on the phone, I can tell they didn't sound right. So I was pretty discerning when I did it. But there's a lot of guys on these dating websites that a lot of them ain't no good. They're not for the right things. So you have to be very cautious when doing that. I would recommend don't do it, but I can't tell anybody what to do. But if you're going to do that, please be careful, because there's a lot of guys on there that's not for this. There's some good ones, but It's a lot of them that's not for the right things. And you just have to, a lot of these men want to take advantage of you. I've done videos talking about homosexuals. They want to come in and live on you and your children, because they don't have their own. There's all types of things to look for, ladies, and there's a lot of guys out here like this, and they specifically prey on single mothers because they figure that single mothers want to be mated up. They know that single mothers want someone, so they prey on single mothers. They prey on the vulnerabilities of single mothers. What you have to do is be strong and ward off that. You got to let them know, it's not going to go down like that over here. You have to put your foot down. And you have to be strong. You have to be strong for you. You have to be strong for your children. And it takes us, and that's another point that I want to make. It takes a special type of man to come in and be a good mate to you and a good stepfather for your children. It takes a special kind of man. It takes a Christian man, and I say Christian, he got to be totally dedicated to God. He had to be totally dedicated to God. But you have to have, before you can attract that kind of man, you got to have yourself, you got to have it together spiritually. You got to have it together, you know what I mean? Before you even attract that kind of guy. But it takes a special kind of man, and I'm going to do another video talking about that, going in more detail. But it takes a special kind of man to be a single or a stepfather, to come in and be a father figure to someone else's children. Because most men, when I read the blogs and videos and stuff, most men saying they're not down for it, they don't want to do it. So it takes a special kind of man to do that. Those type of men are rare. That's why it's so hard for single mothers to get married, because those kind of men are rare. They are rare. They're few and far between. Not too many men want to be with a relationship with a single mother and raise another man's children. It takes a special kind of man to do that. And those men are rare. They're hard to find. So with that being said, a lot of these other guys that you're going to be running into, they're not going to have your best interest at heart or your children's best interest at heart. You know what I mean? They have another agenda. They're on a different agenda. And if you fall in love and you develop feelings for this kind of guy, it's bad. It's bad. I went through it before myself. It's bad. A heartbreak is no joke. So I just want to really emphasize, really drive this point really close to home to single mothers. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to think about your children's spiritual, mental, and emotional, physical well-being. And some of these men are predators. They're child molesters and stuff. Do a thorough background check. Do a thorough background check. I strongly, strongly recommend that. Do a thorough background check. Because some of these men are predators. When you have, particularly you got young girls coming up in the house, you have to be so careful. You have to be so careful who you exposing your children to. Because you would hate for a man to come in and to molest your children. See, these are the things that you have to think about. And it's very, very difficult to find a man that's really, truly going to have your best interest at heart and your children's as well. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to find that. It is what it is. It's life. It's reality. So even if it means you got to be by yourself for a while, your children have to come first. They have to come first. They have to be your number one priority. And you have to put their needs over yours. Their needs come first before yours. And if you're going to date somebody and, you know, and maybe if it's not serious, maybe don't bring them around your children. Find a find a babysitter or someone to watch your children. Don't bring them around your children. If you're going to entertain someone, don't bring them around your children. It's not healthy. Your children deserve a stable environment. And it's your responsibility as a mother to provide that for them. We have to we have to you have to, as single mothers, you have to protect your children. You have to protect them because they can't defend themselves. So it's your job as a mother to protect them. You know, it is what it is. Look, it's a lot of videos on here with men and the blogs where men are talking about uh, single mothers, and and they're only good for one thing, and it's few and far between. It's hard to find someone that's really, really dedicated to being there for you and your children. And a lot of healing needs to take place before you can even be with someone. You have to get you together first. And God can help you. He can help you with the loneliness. He can help you with the depression. He can help you with all that. But you gotta open up your heart to him, and you gotta give it to him. Read your Bible. That helps you to draw a closer relationship to God. I speak from experience. And you have to learn. I did a video talking about learning how to be alone. You have to learn how to be alone. You have to learn how to be by yourself. You have to learn to be happy with yourself. But so many women out there, they're not happy with being with themselves. You have to be okay with being by yourself. I'm at a place in my life. Excuse me, my lips get dry. I'm at a place in my life where I'm happy with being with myself. And that's where you have to get to that place where you're happy with being with yourself, that you're okay with being with yourself. Because until you get there, you might make all kind of wrong decisions. So I'm gonna put the description of it, or the other video that I did, part one, that link to that video in the description box. Please share this video, like this video, share it. I want to get the message out as to many single mothers as I can get it out to. Very vital and very important. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Until the next video, peace and love. Be blessed. This is Sweet June.